The Nigerian judicial system is plagued by many challenges, and the Nigerian government recently confirmed that nearly 70% of inmates in prisons were awaiting trial. And this has been blamed on the slow justice delivery process. Some people have also blamed the judicial staff strength in comparison with the number of cases needed to be addressed in court for these obvious gaps. And as the world continues to embrace technology, some have proposed the digitization of the criminal justice system. They believe this will improve the pace of justice delivery and that it could also help resolve many of the legal problems in Nigeria. Well, proponents of this system believe it will also encourage transparency. If we have the use of technology that is in the Nigerian judicial system, it will encourage transparency, they say, in the activities of the court as well as in case handling and in the reduction of injustice. And that's our next discussion now as we bring in technology expert Stephen Onia. Welcome again to our midst. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So you're not a lawyer because you're not a lawyer, but obviously you must be a court user for you to have this interest. And when you look at the gaps before our judicial system, our justice delivery system, just let's know your assessment of what we have on ground in terms of the justice system we have to cater to the needs of Nigerians.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm actually a military research consultant with the American Military University, but I'm primarily a computer scientist. You see, I would like to make us not go into blames today, talking about the gaps, about bias of police, delayed justice. I want us to approach from a different angle. Let's first understand criminal justice as a system, then justice as an output of the system, and the presentation of crimes as an input in the system. So we need to. Now, justice is not an event or an action that goes happen once. It's a series of activity that have timeline. And depending on the kind of justice system, the timeline could be wide or short. It's a series of activities. And most people that do not understand this, the type that want to put justice in their hands and they want to execute justice themselves, but they want it to happen once. There is a procedure in the criminal justice system that help you, that you must follow to get a result, whatever kind of justice you want. Now, the criminal justice system is made of the police, the courts, and the corrections.
All right, let me put you on hold. Apologies. Let's take a break and then we'll continue to begin this interview fully.
Thank you.
Stay with us on TVC Breakfast. Thanks a lot for staying with us on TVC Breakfast, and we have been speaking with Stephen Onia, a technology expert, to tell us about the prospects of the use of technology. Well, we've seen some semblance, so to speak, in the Nigerian judiciary, but perhaps now is the time to enhance the use of technology across board in the Nigerian judicial system to enhance justice delivery. And you were sharing your thoughts moments ago on this issue.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to recap.
Absolutely.
I was initially trying to describe how the criminal justice system operates and the justice as an output and the presentation of cases, crimes as the input. So I was just saying the criminal justice system is actually a system, just a keyword. The police, the courts, and the corrections. They don't function in isolation.
Absolutely.
Now, we've had a lot of blame pushing. Here, police is biased, cases are delayed, are waiting trial. We're not going to talk much about these problems. Now, the reason is this. You see, every system, there's no perfect system anywhere in the world. None. There is nobody that can prove that there is a perfect system anywhere. But those of us that design systems, we know that when you design a system, there is definitely going to be loopholes and gaps. And from a computational perspective, that's what we call activation function. Let me describe a layman system for you, like you want to cook rice. When you're cooking your rice, your output is edible food. And your input might be raw materials. In the process, you cook it. There's a chance you might come out with an output that is very salty if you activate that by adding excess salt. So the concept now is, there might be a problem in the system. And the activation function. Do not put excess salt. Do not overcook or undercook. You know the activation function, and you don't do that and your food comes out well. So the computational approach for the judicial system is not really the problem. It's what are the activation functions that makes those problems manifest. There's no perfect system anyway. Even in the United States, you heard about the Black Lives Matter movement because of the gaps they also have in their own criminal justice system. So there's none. Now look at this. People complain about police bias or police misbehavior. You see, a system that we have today, the system we have today are built on purely people, purely physical system. And what we're trying to discuss today is how to make it an hybrid system by introducing digitization, right? It's currently, now, if you build a system on people, and it's actually those people that are managing the system, you should expect there should be gaps. Now, there was a journal published, a research conducted by Nasarawa State University, KEFI, in collaboration with the Nigerian Police Academy, Wudi in Kano State. And they discussed the importance of motivation for the forcemen. Importance of motivation. Now, when I'm sure we'll get to the point what are the solutions, and I will reference this back. Also, there was a journal published by the Nigeria Defense Academy, something about military science and cybernetics intelligence. And the truth is, these materials are available in public space. You don't need special access to see them. Now, they discussed the importance of non-expert intelligence from, non-security expert, the layman that is not a security expert, and the integration with expert security professionals, how they should synergize and not be disconnected so they can help themselves. I'll give you a typical example of how a crime was presented. There was a lady a few weeks ago. She called me about, she has a challenge. I said, what's the problem? She said, I live in an estate and my maid just disappeared after taking my money. And I called the estate. There's no trace that she left the estate. And when she said that, oh, okay, what exactly are you saying? She sent me CCTV footage of that estate. And in that CCTV, you see a coordinated activity of domestic staffs, where you see the lady come out of the house, you see the domestic staff right back to the back of the camera, and eventually camera flocked and the lady disappeared. She was no longer there. And I said, come on, I'm interested in this your case. Come over, let's discuss this matter. And you know, while she was coming, a lot of things were running through my head. I remember the case in Nigeria. The lady was Mrs. Something Uba that was killed by a domestic staff. I remember the CEO of Empire Villa Hotel, killed by a domestic staff. I also remember the Fatinois recently, killed by domestic staff. And I saw a coordinated network of domestic staff. And the first problem I had with this was, how can these videos even be in circulation? Imagine someone with criminal tendencies. Oh, this guy has this kind of tendency in this estate. Guy, take 2 million, let me kidnap that child. In that estate. Now, that's a typical example. I can go on and analyze what I was going through my head while I was watching that video. Or the maid, this guy, yeah, the staff of this guy. Let me give you 5 million. Make him rest. Make him rest well, in peace. You know, all this kind of nonsense that these criminals can do. And I said, come, let's discuss this matter. And that video is already in circulation. The first question I had, how can this kind of video even be in circulation? This is what should be handed over to the police.
Absolutely. And
these guys handed over to the police in good gesture, not just suspicion. You guys, this is why, look at what they did. We are not military, we are not police guys. Please look at this video and please, this is not going in circulation. Now, that is an example of cases are being presented. I will come back to this scenario. It's a true life scenario. I'll come back to it. Now, you see, justice, as I was saying earlier, is not an event. It's not an action. It's a series of activity that sits on the timeline. And depending on the kind of criminal justice system you are, the timeline might be wide or very short. Well, people claim that US, you get justice easily, like in a short time. And Nigeria, you get it in a longer time. No, all this delay in justice. I have this theory, because if you're going to digitize a system, the system engineer must understand the system in and out. That's why I'm trying to take time to explain the system first. So when I start proposing digitization approach, everybody understand, oh, this is how the system works. You see, if you want to build a system for a desert land, the landscape and the features of the desert terrain will be evident in your system. If you're building a system for a rainforest, the pattern of a rainforest will manifest. The same thing. No system is the same. So when I hear analysts compare Nigerian criminal system with the US criminal system, I just laugh. Because we have uniqueness, and they have their uniqueness. And theirs is not perfect, ours is not perfect.
So what's the uniqueness of the United States criminal justice system?
Blacks are being, they believe, I don't want to join the gang of people that say, they believe blacks are being targeted for criminal offenses. That blacks are more, there are more blacks in incarceration. Right. And that's why that blacks are being shot on the street. You see, they say police just discriminatorily shoot a black man. And they say the Black Lives Matter, that's their uniqueness.
But in the Nigerian
For example, in the Nigerian, you hear police bias. Because let me give you a reference. There's what they call Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a pyramid where the human social class is classified based on their needs. And the people at the bottom of the pyramid, they are the biggest population of the citizenry. And these guys at the bottom of this pyramid, their basic needs is what makes them keep them going every day. They just want to eat. They just want to drink water and sleep. They don't have any needs. Survive. Yeah, survive. And there are people at the top of that pyramid. At the top, they said, according to Maslow's theory, they've ascended to transcendence. They're looking for private jets. They're looking for fancy cars. And there are also people in the middle, the upper class. Now, I'm one of those that believe a system works when those in the middle, what we call the office intellectuals. And pardon me, I use the word office intellectuals because, there are a lot of people with good job titles, good income. They go out in fancy cars, 2023 models, 2022 models. But all they have is office intellect. They have nothing like military intelligence, nothing like spiritual intelligence, nothing like traditional intelligence. There's so many forms of intelligence, social cultural intelligence. But because they have this office intellect, normally in developed worlds, it's those people that help balance the scale of the social system. So when it's tilting, they call everybody to caution because they are the office intellectuals, so-called. Now, overseas, some of these guys go there and comply with the system and behave themselves. But here, we don't see much impact from the middle class. I need to give our leaders a break in this country because every single thing in this country is that the leaders are at fault. And to be sincere with you, I've seen powerful men in this country. And I can guarantee you, whether powerful men in government or in armed forces or in any conventional power system, it's rare to see a real powerful man abuse power. It's very rare. When you get power, you don't really abuse it. They don't really, if you walk in that circle, they don't really just, the real people that have power, they don't just abuse the power. The truth is, we have an upper class system where, these guys, they are not making effort to make sure the system works. And they leave it to the government or leave it to the people.
So what's the solution now to this? Because as you have said, and I take your point that it goes beyond one subsector. It's something that is hydra-headed. So what is the way out?
Thank you very much for this. Now that we are going towards the solutions, I'll just give you few scenarios of how we can digitize. For example, some key problems that we have with our criminal judicial system is the speed to which cases are charged to court. It's a major problem, the speed. Also, we have our security men. They mistakenly charge in the wrong courts at times. They charge a case and they just go to the wrong court. And that case is just stored up. Then they have to have issue with transferring files from one court to another, or probably misplacement of case files completely. And these are typical characteristics of our judicial system. Now, if you're going to digitize this, I'm going to refer back to the Journal of Management Science. And I said researchers from National State University, Kefi, Nigerian Police Academy, Woody, Kano State, did. Motivation for the security men, for the force. You need, I stand to be corrected, we need a country where we need to raise the standard of living. You see, those people that wake up in the morning and dress up in the name of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we need to raise their standard of living. And those of us that will wake up in the morning and we dress up in the name of a business brand, tax us severely.
Okay, you're soliciting?
Yes, because, we need to be taxed. You see, let me but when I mean severely, I'm not a tax consultant. When I say severely, people that will interpret severely, they will relatively put it in context.
And there is a tax regime in place already, but you think it's not wide enough?
Trust me, a lot of people don't pay tax in Nigeria.
Okay.
Look at a lot of people don't pay tax in Nigeria. Some people are not even registered for taxation.
Okay, so in terms of how this will...
We need to widen our tax net.
Better the justice delivery system.
We need to increase IGR.
Okay.
So that you can increase the standard of living of these men that wake up every morning and dress up in the name of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Very important. Because they identified in that journal that motivation is key. Because I hear a lot about forces, epileptic performance. I'm like, you think it's easy to keep us asleep at night, to keep in patrol while you're sleeping? And these are dimensions we need to. So aside that, let me give you an example. When I say taxes, widen the tax net, these upper class, when they go to the US, they pay taxes well. They don't contend with taxes. You can't mess around with taxes in the US. But you know, that's how they grow the system, they fix the system, they feed the system. But in Nigeria, taxes become more you plead to. You don't have to even take beyond what you should take. But at least widen the tax net. Get everybody to pay tax. Let the IGR go up so that you can have enough funds to motivate this man. Because that was what was identified in that journal. Secondly, you need technology. Now, why did I say we need technology? I'm not going to be given case scenarios of application of technology. Firstly, I spoke about the delay in charging cases to court. Now, I'm not a policeman, but there are scenarios that could cause delays in charging a case to court. For example, an officer needs to understand the presentation of the crime. And because he knows he's not going to court to give the presiding judge or magistrate nonsense, he has to be able to construct his case. That's one. Two, another thing is interference. You see, in this country, only in this country, there's nothing you do in Nigeria. There's someone coming to collect your bail. If like he struck somebody, there was someone confident enough to say, release him, I want to collect his bail. Every crime has someone who can say, please release him. Because we don't respect our justice system. There's some people they know this guy is always chucking bottle on the street every day. Someone will still be confident enough to give him bail.
And even when we digitize the judicial system now, all these clogs, how will they be minimized?
Beautiful. The first problem, let me first talk about the problem of digitization, because when we talk digitization, we think we're just going to implement solutions. First, we need to worry about data sovereignty. You see, data sovereignty. In a country like Nigeria, I'm not just one of those advocates that you digitize our criminal system and put our criminal justice system's data maybe in the cloud, in the server in the US, whether I put it in the cloud, in the server in Singapore, UK. I don't agree to that. So let's even not agree we have a data center in Nigeria on our soil. We don't need to worry about global standard compliance, uptime. That's my belief. That's the first problem. Two, I also believe any technology that will be integrated must have a blockchain feel, such that there are nodes. Every security unit, whether police station or police post, are a node on it. So if one node is tampered with and there's lack of integrity based on the access control systems, we can recover the original copy from the prior node. That's how blockchain works. Because digitizing the criminal justice system is not something you just wake up and just build the software and just say, I built the software, let it start working. It's a very delicate, because we're talking of security data. We're talking of criminal data. I don't advocate put that in some Google Cloud. I don't.
All right. I'm afraid, Stephen Onenia, we've run out of time, but, thanks for sharing your thoughts. I could see, the passion coming from you, very passionate about you being a seasoned technology expert. We thank you very much for your thoughts and hope we can bring you some more time to expatiate on some of these really important issues. Stephen Onenia there, thanks again.
You're welcome.